Get a lot of money, moving different.
What up, boy? Come on, man. You know we've been doing this long. We on a real 25-year run. What they talk about Cabo? What they talking about, man? I ain't been back 12 hours yet. Lock it up.
Venti. We bring the Venti out here. Shit looking type slick. I don't know, Black.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side. Just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing.
I remember this real talk. I was on probation at the time. My probation officer was like, come down to probation or we gonna lock you up on Thursday. I'm like, what the f I did? And New York City Intel was there. And New York City Intel said, what's going on with you and 50 Cent? I said, it's some music shit. What the fuck you talking about? They said, well, this seems like it's for me. I said, yo, he puts people out of business. I gotta respond. I responded to everything I love. I told you. I'm like, yo, the man puts people out of business. You gotta say something. Then one officer's like, yeah, he does, man. And he does. So it's just on me. Y'all gonna talk to him? Like, yeah, his flight is later. We're gonna have a conversation with him.
50 Cent just pulled off a chess move so slick, it left Dipset scrambling for answers. And now, Camron's finally speaking out, letting everyone know the truth about what really went down behind the scenes. This isn't just another rap beef. This is about money, loyalty, and legacy. Camron opened up about where things truly stand between him and Jim Jones after years of back-and-forth drama, broken partnerships, and those fake, we're cool again moments that never last. He said it straight. This wasn't just personal beef, it was about control and cash flow. He explained how he worked non-stop to put Jim Jones and Joel Santana in position to win, from locking in mixtape deals to pushing the Diplomat's name until it became one of the hottest movements out of Harlem.
Look, I always wish Jim the best. I hope he does well.
Mm-hmm.
He came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, we all did, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Y'all bros,
No, I want to tell you something. I'm talking about just from not being my man. You gotta realize this is my man who couldn't rap. It turned into my hype man. It turned into an artist directing videos, so his hustle is impeccable. As far as the Diplomat, your question is this, though. You gotta think about this, Bleak. We put out our first mixtape probably 2001.
24 years ago.
Yeah, the album came out in 2003. So you sit there and say, okay, 2001 to let's say we broke up 2007. Even if we give it 2008, that's a 6-7 year run. Music was just so powerful. The logo was still, people just love it. Our first reunion, I'm talking about after we broke up, After the Devil, was in 2010.
Yeah.
The first reunion show we did. If we can't get it together now, it's been 2010 to 2025. So the reunions and arguments and fighting's been 15 years. The run was only 7.
Cam also revealed that big names like Dame Dash used to warn him to slow down, telling him not to rush into business moves that could backfire. But Camron didn't listen. He doubled down, branding Dipset like it was a street empire and running it like a boss. That grind made history, but it also brought friction that never really faded away. Even when the crew looked united, there was always tension simmering right under the surface. And just when it looked like Dipset might get back on track, 50 Cent stepped in and dropped a power play that flipped the entire situation upside down.
You know, Jim, I heard you say on your show, you like, yo, what's up with you and Beans? It's the same I feel with you and Jim, right, bro. Like, I need y'all to fix that, my G. Do you think that can ever be fixed?
Look, to me, when it goes to the Diplomat shit, right, it's like the Williams brothers from the other side of the projects. It's like, yo, the Smiths, them niggas be bugging.
Yeah.
The Diplomat thing to me is like, it's no matter what. At one particular time, nobody was bigger than the group.
That's right.
And I remember Dame saying that. Dame was like, yo, Cam, because what happened is this, I got a fucked up deal, Epic. I had to get the Def Jam. When I got the Rockefeller, I started maneuvering like, all right, I was in a fucked up situation. So when I'm trying to get Jim on, Joel's on, I remember I'm fighting for Jim. Nobody believed Jim was a rapper. I'm like, yo, nah, Jim, you gonna direct my videos. Jim, motherfucker, you gonna leave the deal, this, that, and the third. And basically, I'm fighting for all of us. So I remember I started getting the Diplomat mixtapes and them shits was hot. And Dame was like, Cam, you might want to slow that down. These niggas, if you put you out, wait a while for the Diplomat. So therefore, it's not the same thing. I'm like, nobody got time to wait. Y'all been in a comfortable situation.
Right.
All my niggas been fucked up the last 2-3 albums.
So it wasn't just about music. It was about dominance, timing, and business strategy that left everyone else playing catch up. Now, Camron isn't sitting around reminiscing about the old days. He's talking about evolution. He's focused on new money, fresh moves, and making sure he never gets stuck chasing old fame. This time, it's not just about who had the hottest bars. It's about who's smart enough to turn their legacy into a lasting empire.
With Jim, I didn't get him his first deal at Koch. Like, I got the single, the artist deal at Rockefeller. I went to Kevin Lyles. and Leo to get the joint venture deal for Jewels and the Diplomat album. Then Dame just came and started flipping to him about, you ain't doing no deal with Cam. If I would have came and asked you for the deal, you would have told me no. So I ended up going through Rockefeller, Def Jam for Diplomats and Jewels when it was just going to be Diplomat, Def Jam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but Dame went up there flipping out on Kevin. And Kevin, I remember sitting there, he's like, dang, I don't make money off albums. I get paid a salary. I don't give a fuck if it goes to you, Def Jam, whatever. So, but back to the Diplomat thing. Look, I always wish Jim the best. I hope he does well. He came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, we all did, bro. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all bros.
No, I want to tell you something. I'm talking about just from not being my man. You gotta realize this is my man who couldn't rap. It turned into my hype man. It turned into an artist directing videos, so his hustle is impeccable.
Camron didn't just talk. He exposed how deep this rift with Jim Jones really runs. And it's way deeper than anyone thought. Once you actually listen to his words, you can feel the pain, the pride, and the realness in every line. Fans are calling this one of the rawest, most genuine interviews Cam has ever done about Jim and Dipset, and honestly, they're not exaggerating. Before I play the clip, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button, because what Cam says next changes how you'll see the entire Dipset story. See, this whole thing isn't just about two rappers falling out. It's about money, loyalty, and the pressure that comes when fame turns friends into competitors. In hip-hop, money and power always test the bonds people swear are unbreakable. And Dipset became the perfect example of how that test can destroy even the strongest crews. Camron isn't speaking out of anger this time. He's speaking from experience. He's reflecting on a 7-year run that built legends, and a 15-year feud that refused to die. That kind of timeline shows how pride and cash can twist everything, from loyalty to legacy.
Far as the Diplomat, the question is this though, you gotta think about this, Bleak. We put out our first mixtape probably 2001.
Shit, 24 years ago.
Yeah, the album came out in 2003. So you sit there and say, okay, 2001 to let's say we broke up 2007. Even if you give it 2008, that's a 6-7 year run. Music is just so powerful. The logo is still, people just love it. Our first reunion, I'm talking about after we broke up, Like the Devil, was in 2010.
Yeah.
The first reunion show we did. If we can't get it together now, it's been 2010 to 2025. So the reunions and arguments and fighting's been 15 years. The run was only 7 years. We got 15 years of disputes longer than the run. The run was 7 years.
Yeah.
The disputes is going on 10. We'll get together here and there, this, that, and the third. But the thing about it is this, and I'm be honest, is that the last scenario that we went to, me and Jim.
When business stops matching friendship, the brotherhood fades and the grind starts to feel cold. Cam's not saying he was the hero or that Jim was the villain. He's just acknowledging the truth. Emotions and ego can either build empires or burn bridges for good. Cam fought tooth and nail for those deals, the mixtapes, the tours, the brand. He put in work so everyone around him could eat. And Jim, he hustled his way from being just the hype man in the background to a real artist, a boss, and a business figure in his own right. These aren't just beef stories, they're lessons in growth and grind. Both men took their struggles and flipped them into something bigger than fame: financial independence and long-term stability. That's why what Camron is saying hits so hard. He's not crying over the past. He's plotting a future built on new ventures, smarter investments, and legacy moves that'll last long after the drama fades. So many rappers get trapped chasing their old glory days, trying to relive moments the world already moved on from, and that's exactly how they end up broke, bitter, and forgotten. But Camron, he's proving you can still build, even when the crew splits and the loyalty fades. He's showing that real power comes from adapting, not reminiscing. Even with all the drama and broken ties, he's out here stacking new opportunities and reminding everyone that growth doesn't stop just because friendships do.
Responsibility for it, but I was dead serious. There was a time where Jim had did a show with 50, and I think...
I remember that concept.
Right, and I think the way 50 answered the question got Jim mad. But I'm sitting there saying to myself, I think it'd be on the time me and you on right now. We can't talk about, we can't talk about, but the way 50 answered the question, it got Jim mad and it riled him up and he went on tangent for 4 or 5, 6 months. Still to this day, I guess he's still upset. But I didn't mean militia out of it. I really want to know
what it was.
How did you get niggas to go fuck with you when me and you beefing? And me and Jewels and Jim, not saying we was beefing, but we wasn't on the same page. So it was a real question for me. And, you know, Jim got mad about it and still upset to this day about it. But I'm never going to say never. But at the end of the day, if you got to think about it, the disputes, the arguments, the reunions is 15 years old, and the run was 7 years old. I don't know if it can ever go right. You know, he got records dissing me earlier this year, whatever. I don't really pay no mind. People send it to me. But you gotta think about it. He put a song called Out Frenemies in like 2008.
And there's 50 Cent, the man who flipped the whole script on how hip-hop and business collide. His power play didn't just hit Dipset, it shook the entire culture. 50 showed the game that strategy and timing matter just as much as talent. When he moved, it wasn't just about dropping hits, it was about dominating the industry like a CEO. He built G-Unit from a street crew into a full-blown money-making machine. From music to movies, liquor brands to television, every move was calculated. He turned his hustle into an empire and made sure his people could cash in, not just tag along. That's why when people bring up 50's name, they don't just talk about albums, they talk about power, ownership, and longevity. That's the real difference between surviving and thriving in this game. Knowing when to evolve, when to invest, and when to let go of the past before it holds you hostage. Camron's new revelations didn't just reopen old wounds, they're forcing everyone to look at the Dipset legacy through a whole new lens. Behind all the flashy pink coats, luxury whips, and chart-topping anthems, there was always quiet tension brewing between brothers who came up together, but moved differently once money entered the picture.
17 years of diss records towards me. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? My brain ain't there.
It's the same way with Beans. Beans
Right.
got diss records dissing me and all that. And it's like, I don't know where niggas coming from. But at the end of the day, like, when the lights cut off, the music cut off, everything cut off, I can never erase what was.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's time for niggas to definitely embrace what is. Like,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's what I be saying
See,
to niggas. Like,
the best thing, and it's totally different scenarios, but you talked about it. I didn't even see the interview. I seen the clip.
yeah.
When they asked you if niggas are ever gonna speak again. And you like,
It crossed the line. Like with Dame, I feel like there's a line that was crossed. Like Beans ain't go there. Like
I understand
that's
what
my
you're saying.
nigga. Like we get on the phone, I'm gonna pick up the phone tonight. Like you know what I'm saying? But I feel like between them,
Back in the early 2000s, Dipset wasn't just a rap group. They were a movement that shifted the culture from Harlem to the global stage. They had the streets, the style, and the sound. But what fans didn't see was the internal struggle for control. Camron was the mastermind, the one with the vision to turn their street rep into a real business. While Jim Jones was slowly building his own lane, managing artists, networking with labels, and setting up deals outside the Diplomats brand. That's where the cracks began to show. Then came 50 Cent's big entrance, and that changed everything. 50 saw the weakness and the egos, the division, the money splits, and he knew how to capitalize. His strategy wasn't just about out-rapping anyone, it was about outsmarting the competition. When G-Unit started dominating, 50 began moving like a mogul, turning other rappers' conflicts into his advantage. He wasn't just watching Dipset fall apart, he was studying it, learning exactly how to build what they couldn't sustain.
I don't even have to ask Jay. It ain't even like Jay said it to me and was like, nah, niggas is done. Nigga. It ain't never. I just know knowing him.
But the reason I brought that up, it isn't even about, because like Biggs my big bro too. Shout out to Biggs.
Yeah, shout out Biggs, definitely.
Yeah, so,
Silent OG.
Yeah, that's my big bro. So it's like this, for instance, right? And that's what I'm saying, right? I built a few different entities that's doing well. Right now, unless Jay feels like being nostalgic or whatever, you're gonna see those hats that you wear. It ain't. We could go Rockefeller every 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but this is what we pumping.
It's what it is
right now. Exactly. So it's never not a problem to feel nostalgic and reminisce. But if you do too much of that reminiscing and just base everything you doing off of what the past was, you just gonna sound like a nigga with a bunch of stories and you old and bitter and so on.
While Dipset was beefing over credit and control, 50 was signing TV deals, expanding liquor brands, and investing in real estate. He used his power moves to set a new standard for independence in hip-hop, showing artists that you don't need to stay stuck in label politics or loyalty drama to win. And Camron seems to finally understand that message now. He's openly admitting that some of the choices he made back then were emotional, not strategic. He's calling out how friendships mixed with finances can blur lines, and how easy it is for pride to ruin real business. What we're witnessing isn't just Cam exposing Jim, it's him exposing the industry formula that's kept artists from truly owning what they built. This situation shows that in hip-hop, loyalty might get you love, but strategy gets you legacy. And that's the part too many people miss. What makes this story even more explosive is how Camron and Jim Jones's rivalry wasn't just personal. It was public, messy, and played out in front of millions. The industry was watching two Harlem giants go from brothers in arms to silent enemies. And every new interview or subliminal lyric just added fuel to the fire. Camron had built Dipset from the ground up, but when the fame hit, so did the outside voices. Managers, label execs, and street connections, all whispering in different ears. Suddenly, decisions that once felt simple started turning into power struggles. Who controlled the money? Who owned the music? Who was really the face of the movement? Those questions tore them apart more than any diss ever could. And let's be real, 50 Cent saw that weakness and turned it into a masterclass in strategy. While Dipset was arguing over royalties, 50 was expanding his empire, film deals, TV production, global branding. He didn't just play the game, he changed it completely. What made 50's move so cold was that he didn't even have to attack. He let Dipset's internal chaos do the work, while he secured generational wealth. Now, years later, Cam's reflection on all this feels like a warning shot to every upcoming artist chasing fast fame. It's not just about who's hot right now, it's about who's thinking 5 moves ahead. In an industry where loyalty fades and money talks, the real power belongs to the one who learns how to play both sides without losing himself. At the end of the day, this whole situation feels bigger than just another rap beef, it's a reality check. What Camron and Jim Jones went through is a real-life reminder that in this game, loyalty, business, and money all have to move in sync if you want the team to last. You can have all the hits in the world, but if the money isn't right and egos clash, the empire will crumble fast. Camron's words hit different because he's speaking from scars, not theories. He's been through it all, the fame, the fallout, the broken trust, and now the rebuilding. He's showing that survival in hip-hop isn't just about staying relevant. It's about learning the business and protecting your legacy before it's too late. What's wild is that the music never dies. Fans will always remember the classics. But what truly defines greatness is who can flip that fame into long-term power. Cam seems to finally get that. And maybe, just maybe, Jim does too. If they ever decide to rebuild, it won't be for the charts. It'll be for legacy, ownership, and respect. But what do you think? Can Camron and Jim Jones ever move past the money issues and power plays to build something new together again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what side you're on. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one. And while you're here, go ahead and click the next video you see on the screen for more wild celebrity drama and behind-the-scenes truths.